You ever stand in your yard come September, staring at that fading garden and wondering, what now? Am I just stuck paying grocery store prices all winter? I'll tell you, the Amish don't see fall as an ending at all. It's the start of their best season. No greenhouses, no fancy gear, just simple tricks that keep food on the table till spring. Stick around, 'cause this little chat could save your wallet and keep your table fresh all winter long. You know that sinking feeling when frost shows up early and your garden's done for? Not for the Amish. Back in Lancaster, families take old wooden windows off barns, sit them on a simple wood frame, and boom, you've got a cold frame. They tuck spinach and kale under there, and even in January you'd lift the glass and see green leaves smiling back at you. The trick is it traps the day's heat, just like an old quilt holds warmth. Build it knee-high so you don't bend so much. For price of scrap wood and an old pane, you'll save $50 in winter greens easy. Ever notice how Amish gardens don't get that cracked, lifeless look in winter? Over in Ohio, they rake leaves by the wagon load, spread them over fall beds, and let nature do the work. It feeds worms, keeps soil loose, and stops weeds cold. No need for bending with a tiller come spring. If your soil's clay, mix in a little sand before mulching. It's free, it's easy, and your carrots will push through soft earth like butter. In fact, one Amish farmer joked, "Leaves are God's fertilizer, don't waste him." Figure you're saving $20 in fertilizer, plus your back won't be sore from digging come March. Seeds cost a fortune these days. $3 a packet adds up quick. But Amish almost never buy kale seeds. They save them. In late summer, they let a few plants bolt and set seed pods. They'll cut the stalks, dry them in paper bags, and come fall, there's a handful of free seed ready to go. One family in Holmes County told they've been planting from the same kale line for 3 generations. Healthy, hearty stuff that laughs at frost. It's simple. Let it dry, store cool, plant in September. That's $30 saved a year, and you're growing food your grandkids could still be eating. Frost is every gardener's headache, right? Amish beat it with nothing more than straw. Come October, they'll lay a thick straw blanket over rows of lettuce and carrots, tucking it in like a child on a cold night. That straw holds heat in the soil and keeps the plants breathing under cover. You don't even need to haul it off every day. Just peel it back when the sun's out, then lay it back down before evening. A $5 bale of straw will protect a whole bed, and compared to losing $40 worth of crops overnight, that's money well spent and food still on your table. Ever see those tidy Amish boxes lined up like quilt squares? That's no accident. They build raised beds with wooden sides, about knee-high, and fill them with rich soil and compost. Come fall, they plant spinach or onions in there, then throw a lid on top, plywood, or even an old door lined with clear plastic. It's like a mini greenhouse without the fuss. The soil in raised boxes drains better, so roots don't freeze solid, and being up high means no bending for us older folks. You'll pay maybe $20 in lumber scraps, but you'll cut your winter grocery bill in half with fresh greens. You know how carrots turn rubbery if you just toss them in the fridge? Amish families don't waste a single root, they bury them in sand. After pulling carrots in fall, they'll layer them upright in a wooden box or barrel, pouring dry sand between each layer. Tucked in a cellar or barn, those carrots stay crisp and sweet clear through March. It's like nature's refrigerator. No electricity needed. I remember one Amish woman saying, "You'll think it's fresh dug every time you bite." For the cost of a $5 bag of play sand, you can stretch your carrot harvest for 4 extra months. No shriveling at all. Back in Holmes County, Amish cut the bottoms off old milk jugs and slipped them over young cabbage plants. Those little cloches work like magic, each jug acting as a personal greenhouse, trapping heat and blocking wind. Sometimes they'll even paint the tops white to bounce off harsh sun. You don't need to buy anything fancy, just save a few jugs or soda bottles. Push them into the soil and let the plants breathe through the open top. A whole row covered this way costs next to nothing, but it can stretch your growing season 6 weeks longer, and that means fresh salads right into December. Amish gardens never waste heat. In Lancaster, They'll plant a late spinach row right beside the compost pile. That pile gives off steady warmth as it breaks down, enough to keep the soil from freezing. The saying goes, let the pile work twice, feed the ground, warm the ground. You can do the same. Tuck hardy greens along the sunny side of your heap, and cover with a bit of burlap on frosty nights. No special tools, no greenhouse, just smart use of what's already working. Saves you $20 in heating gadgets and gives you a winter harvest most folks wouldn't even think possible. Garlic is one crop Amish always plant in the fall. Around October, they'll break cloves from the biggest heads, push them into loosened soil about 2 inches deep, then cover with straw. By spring, strong green shoots pop up, ready for July harvest. It's almost foolproof. You plant once, forget about it, and reap pounds later. The Amish often say, garlic's the crop that takes care of itself. A single bulb from the market can give you a dozen new ones, saving $30 or more over the year. And beyond the money, it keeps your meals flavorful and your body strong through the cold season. Spinach is the Amish workhorse crop for winter. In Holmes County, they'll sow it thick in September, then stretch a simple row cover over the bed, just hoops of wire with fabric or plastic draped on top. That cover keeps frost off the leaves while still letting rain through. One family joked their spinach beds look like little wagons under canvas. The payoff? Tender greens you can harvest clear through January. A $10 sheet of row cover fabric will last for years, and compared to $1 for a bag store spinach, you'll save a small fortune. More than that, you'll have a steady supply of iron-rich greens when your body needs it most. When wood stoves get going in Amish homes, the gardens don't miss out. They'll scatter cooled wood ash right onto the fall beds, especially for onions, garlic, and root crops. That ash is rich in potassium and lime, giving plants the boost they need to store well through winter. Just a sprinkle is enough. Too much can burn plants, so they mix it with compost or soil before spreading. Think of it as recycling last night's fire into tomorrow's harvest. Instead of spending $15 on store fertilizer, you're using what's already on hand. It's simple, it's free, and it's kept Amish gardens healthy for generations. Out in Lancaster, you'll often see garden rows bordered with hay bales once the cold sets in. Those bales act like thick walls, holding in warmth and blocking icy winds from tender crops. Some Amish even stack them in a U-shape around raised beds, making a cozy pocket of heat. When spring rolls around, the bales break down into mulch for the next season. 2 jobs done for the price of one. A single bale costs about $5, and 4 of them can shield a whole patch of lettuce or kale. That's a small price for fresh greens when the snow's piling up outside. Amish kitchens often have onions hanging like decorations, braided in long ropes. It's more than pretty, it's smart storage. After harvest, they cure the onions in a dry, breezy spot, then twist the stems into braids. Hung from a beam, the bulbs stay dry. The air moves around them, and rot hardly touches them. You can snip off 1 onion at a time all winter long. No basket spilling, no moldy mess. A single braid can hold 30 onions, saving $25 compared to buying bag after bag at the store. And there's something comforting about a row of golden onions swaying above your table all season. Instead of hauling every beet and turnip indoors, Amish families in Holmes County often pile them up right in the garden. They'll mound the roots into a heap, cover with straw, then top it all with a layer of soil. That little hill works like a natural cellar, holding steady temperature underground. Come January, you just pull back the straw and dig a few for supper. No electricity, no fancy bins, just earth doing what it's always done. It keeps the roots firm and sweet till spring. Compared to losing half your crop in storage, this trick stretches your food and your dollars a whole season longer. When Amish harvest cabbages in late fall, a good share doesn't go straight to the root cellar. It goes into crocks. They'll shred it fine, pack it with salt, and let nature turn it into sauerkraut. That fermentation not only keeps the cabbage edible through winter, it makes it healthier, full of probiotics for the gut. A single crock of sauerkraut can last months without refrigeration. The old saying is, one head feeds twice, once fresh, once sour. At a time when store-bought kraut costs $6 a jar, this method costs pennies. Plus, it puts a tangy crunch on the table when everything else feels heavy and plain. In areas near woods, Amish rake up piles of pine needles every fall. Those needles go straight onto garden beds like a light quilt. They're airy enough to let the soil breathe, but tough enough to shed water and block frost. Unlike straw, pine doesn't mat down or rot quick. It stays fluffy all winter. Perfect for strawberries, spinach, or garlic beds. And come spring, you can work the needles right into the soil to loosen heavy clay. Free, natural, and a whole lot easier than lugging in store mulch. What others see as yard waste, Amish see as winter armor for their crops. Turnips are a cold weather friend, but the Amish plant them deeper in fall than in spring. About 4 inches down, where the soil keeps steady warmth. That little bit of extra depth means the roots don't freeze solid when January winds bite. They'll sow rows thick, thin later, and leave the rest right in the ground till needed. You just dig out what you want for supper, and the rest waits under its soil blanket. One farmer in Ohio said, "Turnips are our winter potatoes." At a time when store-bought produce is high, a 50-cent packet of seed can yield 50 pounds of hearty food. Amish families often set aside a corner of the cellar just for beets. They'll layer them in wooden crates with damp sand or sawdust, stack the boxes high, and keep the space cool. That setup locks in moisture so the beets don't shrivel, and the crates allow airflow so they don't rot. A single stack can last till April without a fridge. For older folks, it's less lifting too. Just pull the top box when you need it. Considering fresh winter beets run $2 a pound at the store, storing your own is like banking $100 of food right downstairs. Simple, old-fashioned, and it works every time. When Amish plant fall crops, you won't find bright plastic stakes in their rows. They use what's on hand, sticks, corn stalks, even smooth stones pressed at the row's end. It costs nothing, it blends with the garden, and it won't clutter the soil. In Holmes County, one family marks garlic rows with little bundles of straw tied with twine. Easy to see, easy to move. For seniors, it saves the trouble of buying or bending for gadgets, and you can toss the marker right back into the compost later. Simple as it gets, and it keeps the garden neat without a dime spent. Amish gardens rarely waste food, and potatoes prove it. Instead of tossing peelings with sprouted eyes, they plant them. A scrap with 2 or 3 eyes goes straight in the ground come fall, covered with loose soil. Those scraps root and push up green tops that harden off before winter, setting you up for early spring potatoes. It's recycling at its best, food turning into more food. I've heard Amish women laugh that every potato peel is worth a penny if you plant it. A single bag of store potatoes can stretch into 3 crops this way. Nothing wasted, and a harvest waiting underground. By the way, if you've ever tried little tricks like this in your own garden, share it in the comments. Swap ideas just like neighbors across the fence, and someone else might pick up a tip from you. Unlike many veggies, radishes don't mind cool weather. Amish plant them thick in September, knowing they'll be ready in just 3 weeks. It's like squeezing in one more harvest before the snow. Kids often help with this one, popping seeds into rows and pulling bright red bulbs weeks later. For older gardeners, it's an easy win. No long wait, no fussy care. Toss on a bit of row cover if frost threatens, and you'll be crunching fresh radishes while neighbors think gardening season is over. At $2 a bag in stores, growing your own quick crop saves money and keeps meals lively right through fall. Amish gardeners know lettuce loves cool weather. When planting for fall, they tuck it into shady corners, behind taller corn stalks or near the north side of a fence. That little bit of shade keeps the leaves tender and stops them from bolting too fast. One woman swore her best fall lettuce came from rows planted right under the edge of pole beans. The beans were dying back, but their vines gave enough cover to protect the tender leaves. It's a trick that costs nothing, just a bit of smart placement. And instead of bitter greens, you'll enjoy fresh, crisp salads right up until the first frost. Nothing is wasted in Amish gardens, not even onion tops. When they harvest onions in late summer, the dried stalks are saved and spread around fall plantings of the light mulch. They break down quickly, adding organic matter, but in the meantime, they keep weeds down and the soil from crusting. The faint onion scent is said to help keep bugs away, too. It's recycling at its simplest. Use what's already in the garden to protect what's still growing. For home gardeners, this means less weeding, softer soil, and no need to haul in bag mulch. A pile of onion tops that might have gone to waste ends up working double duty. There's a clever Amish habit of sowing spinach seeds right before the ground freezes. They scatter the seeds over loose soil, then leave them be. Through winter, the seeds rest, protected by snow. Come early spring, before most gardeners even think of planting, the spinach sprouts and takes off. This head start means a harvest weeks earlier than usual. Families love it because when fresh greens are scarce in March, their gardens are already giving. For anyone at home, it's a way to use nature's timing. No special equipment, no greenhouse, just a packet of seed and a little patience. The snow itself becomes the gardener's blanket. In Amish root cellars, carrots aren't left in bins to dry out. They're stored in boxes of damp sand, layered carefully so they don't touch. The sand holds just enough moisture to keep the carrots crisp for months, sometimes clear into spring. It also blocks out air, slowing rot. When a box is opened, the carrots look almost as fresh as the day they were pulled. For a home gardener, this is easy to copy. A wooden box, clean sand, and a cool place. Instead of shriveled carrots in December, you'll be pulling out sweet, crunchy roots like they just came from the garden. When the Amish shell their corn, the cobs don't go to waste. Dried, they make excellent fire starters for wood stoves. Some even dip the ends in melted tallow or beeswax for longer burn time. In autumn, when the first chilly nights arrive, a basket of cobs by the stove means quick, steady fires without fussing with newspaper or chemicals. For homesteads where every scrap counts, it's one more way to use the harvest fully. Try it at home, toss a few dried cobs in a paper sack, and you've got a free box of starters for the whole winter. Waste turns into warmth. Frost always threatens before every last tomato ripens. Amish families never let those green fruits go to waste. Instead, they slice them, pack them in jars, and pour hot brine with dill, garlic, and spices. Within a week, they got tangy pickles that brighten winter meals. Some say these jars vanish faster than regular cucumber pickles. It's quick, simple, and saves what would otherwise end up on the compost heap. For anyone with a backyard patch, this trick stretches your tomato harvest and adds variety to your pantry. One frost doesn't mean the end of good eating. It just means pickles are on the way. In Amish kitchens, autumn apples often end up strung like garlands. Slices are threaded onto cotton string and hung near the stove or in a warm loft. Over days, they shrink into chewy, sweet rings that last all winter. Kids snack on them, and jars are filled for baking pies or stirring into oatmeal. No sugar, no machines, just air and warmth. For a home gardener, it's one of the easiest preservation tricks. Tie up a string, thread your slices, and let time do the work. By Christmas, you'll have jars of dried fruit that taste far richer than anything from the store. Amish families often skip the root cellar for cabbage. Instead, they dig a shallow pit, line it with straw, and bury heads of cabbage under a blanket of soil. The earth keeps the crop cool and moist, while the straw stops rot. When snow piles up, the cabbages rest safe underground until they're dug up weeks or months later. Families pull out firm, crisp heads long after gardens have frozen. At home, you can mimic this by making a small mound in a corner of the yard. It's simple food storage that doesn't cost a penny. It delivers fresh coleslaw or kraut well into winter. In many Amish barns, you'll see pumpkins lined neatly on wooden shelves just below the rafters. Up high, the air stays dry and cool, keeping the pumpkins sound for months. They're rotated now and then, and any soft ones go straight to livestock feed. The rest last until spring pies and stews. It's storage without bins, without chemicals, just smart use of space. At home, a garage or porch shelf can do the same. Lift your pumpkins off the floor, keep them spread apart, and you'll be surprised how long they last. What looks like autumn decoration becomes months of ready meals. Well, that's the scoop from Amish country. 30 tried and true planting and storing tricks to keep food on your table all winter long, without a greenhouse or a big budget. It's really something, isn't it? While most gardens sit bare by November, the Amish still pull crisp carrots, tender kale, and firm cabbages, all thanks to these simple habits passed down through generations. And the best part is, every one of these hacks is doable in your own backyard or kitchen. Just picture it. Jars filled with dried apples, shelves lined with pumpkins, and greens ready to pick in January. Your grocery bill shrinks, your meals taste fresher, and there's a bit of pride in knowing you did it yourself. That's the kind of self-reliance that never goes out of style. If one or two of these ideas spark something for you, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. Your tip might be just the thing another gardener needs. And if you'd like more of these old-fashioned but practical ways to grow and save, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, here's to simple living, good harvest, and warm meals all winter long.